Welcome to the Idiots Do Dolly, episode number 7. Today we are making Mexican baby turkeys. Welcome back to another episode of the Idiots Do Dolly, where the idiot farmers take recipes from Salvador Dali's cookbook, Les Dîners de Cala. And so today we're making the next in the series, which is recipe number 8. It's actually recipe number 7 because number 1 wasn't a real recipe. So it's called Mexican baby turkeys. And we've had a busy week here on the farm. We have been planting and cleaning and doing lots of things. I'm working. So knowing that we had to get this video done, and because we had all the stuff for it, we just hadn't had time to get it done. Phil has done what they like to call mise en place for this recipe. So he's gone through and gotten everything basically pre-chopped and ready to go.
Okay, so now we're gonna just dice up this remaining turkey here. Oops. Little pieces of garlic there. About the only way. There's not a lot to do with drumsticks with turkeys. I mean, unless you're going to cook and smoke the whole thing, whole. Because of those tendons and stuff, they're a little difficult sometimes to eat or to use. For use like this. Really, we should be using turkey breast for this. But you know what? Turkey breasts, it's ass. So we're not going to use it. It's terrible. The turkey butt tastes better than the turkey breast, and that's not a joke. that's 100% true. Unless it's a wild turkey. White meat turkey's trash. Sorry, Alex. Alex works for them, but they cook all and they don't just make turkey breast. They make a whole turkey. I just don't care for it myself. I also like dark meat chicken. So there you go. Phil likes dark meat. All right, so here's those same turkey bones and stuff in here with some garlic. This is celery and onions that whenever you have them and it looks like it's going to go bad in the fridge or go bad, I dice it all up and I freeze it. And then I use it for stuff like this. And then there's some black peppercorns and about a tablespoon and a half, maybe a little more of salt in there. I'm going to fill it up to whatever the max is on this small Instant Pot thing. And I usually do 45 minutes to an hour because we want to extract as much collagen from the bone as possible. And then we just can it. So we'll show you some of that later. Okay, this is a stock follow-up. So I didn't show you, but I poured through this strainer just to get the big chunks out of it. And this is more or less what the stock looks like. That's really nice dark bone broth, chicken stock or turkey stock. There's the bones and whatnot. There's a little more in the bottom there, so we'll get that out and can the last pint or so. But that's, I don't know, 2 quarts, probably a gallon or so of stock that we wouldn't have otherwise had. So you can see how dark and kind of rich that is. It'll be great for making soups or rice or whatever. Anyway, that's how to use bones. Okay, so finally I got 3 quarts of turkey stock plus this, which I'll probably just drink. This is the meat that we pulled off of the bones and the tendons and stuff. And there's all the bones and the tendons. That's going to go in the trash, or actually it's going to go into the compost bin. I have a closed compost bin, so we don't have to worry about animals or anything. And then, like I said, turkey can go to the dogs, or probably what I'll do is just put this in smaller Ziploc bags or vacuum seal bags and use it for soup or something. Anyway. Protein, bone broth, drink, compost. Using it all on the farm. Okay, we have washed and cleaned our cutting board. The next thing we're going to prep is what they say is 2 big onions. We'll have to see if that onion's any good. Feels a little suspect over there. Oh, look! So one bad thing about sweet onions is that they can go bad. But that's okay, we got plenty of onions. Backup onions. 1 big onion, 2 small onions. Actually, in the South, they would say this is not an onion that I'm cutting up here. Vidalia, because that is a Vidalia that I'm cutting up. Product of Vidalia, Georgia. Vidalia County. And they are a super sweet onion. Doesn't make you cry too much. Now, I usually do half rings instead of full rings just because it's easier to cut. It doesn't say to dice it, but I'm going to dice it anyway. All right, so I'll put this in a container and it's prepped. Alrighty, so it says pour corn flour into salted boiling water, stir with a wooden spoon for about 20 minutes. The corn will swell and thicken as it cooks. Got our wooden spoon here, 1 quart of water, 7 ounces of corn flour. Seems like a lot of water, but so many societies eat this right here. Now, what's the difference between this and corn masa, you might ask? Well, this is just plain ground corn. This is from the Amish guys up the valley. You can tell it's probably at least part Bloody Butcher because it's got that red in it. But the difference between just regular corn and the Mexican stuff is prior to grinding masa, the corn in Mexico is soaked overnight in a lime solution. And that lime solution causes a process called nixtamalization. And that nixtamalization makes some of the B vitamins in the corn more bioavailable for humans and makes it a more nutritious thing to have. So that's what the difference is, nixtamalization. And why this would be different if I used corn masa to do it. But it didn't say to use masa, and seeing as how Salvador Dali wasn't in Mexico at the time of this, I think it's probably, although it is called Mexican baby turkey, isn't it? Maybe mistakes have been made. Anyway, we didn't use nixtamalized corn. This is just regular corn from the Amishes. And so while it does its sort of Cronenbergian bubbling here, we'll turn this off and we'll come back in about 17 minutes. Okay, so the timer's gone off, and our masa has finished cooking, I think. So we're going to spread it out on this cookie sheet here. Amazingly, it didn't really, just a little bit of crispy at the bottom, but other than that, it's not burnt, which is kind of nice. So we're going to take it and put it here, and it says to spread it out. And then we're going to make a dough with it later, I guess. So this is cornmeal and salt, good old-fashioned corn pone. Oh, see, there's the thing reminding me it's gone off already. So we're going to just kind of take this and spread it out just a little. I say that's probably thin enough, and then I'm gonna put a piece of wax paper, or not wax paper, but well, I guess we can use wax paper. What do I have up here? Kitchen wrap. Put some kitchen wrap over that, and allow it to cool. See how slick that was? Do it again to prove it wasn't an accident, huh? Yeah, that wasn't slick. That part wasn't slick, but the saran wrap thing was slick. I'm sorry, it was. Try to get this around a little less than a 1/2 inch thick, because that's what size the little masa discs are supposed to be. And yeah, this is a little warm, but you know, she's got to use tongs. She's too young for you, right? Isn't that how it goes?
So, the recipe calls for 6 pieces of turkey diced. Would you like to talk about where the turkey was sourced?
Well, the turkey's from Charm Farm, which is a local sustainable agriculture farm. They do a great job raising things, and of course, you'll probably see in the video somewhere else where I've already, this is drumstick meat, how I've removed the drumstick meat from the tendons in the leg and diced it up, so we have dark meat turkey.
6 slices of country ham, which we have also gotten from
the Charm Farm.
Charm Farm.
Now, I don't know if it's going to be the right shape for what we need to do, so I hedged my bet and I got a package of country ham. Both of these are country hams. Country ham is a dry cure ham. City ham is a wet cure ham, which means it's in a brine. So I didn't know if it was wide. It might be wide enough.
2 cloves of garlic, which are around there
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah.
1 bunch of parsley. 1 tablespoon of shortening, which do we have shortening, or are we just going to
Lard.
use lard? Okay, well, yeah, we have the lard that we've rendered ourselves. 2 big onions, which Phil has already chopped up here. 1 cup of dry white wine. Oh no! I have to open a wine. I'll go take care of that.
While she's doing that, I'm going to cut up these little guys here. And chop up the parsley.
For any of you guys watching this that don't know about it, this is the best way to open wine. This is called a bartender's corkscrew. It's got the nice little Sharpie edge on it. I've tried all of them. I've tried the rabbit. I've tried the
Wand.
Got a wand and a rabbit.
Different rabbit.
Boom. Okay, so a cup of dry white wine.
There's a
However
bunch of
shall I?
middle-aged women laughing right now.
And Chapel Roan fans.
And Chapel Roan fans that understand the reference. All right, 2 cloves of garlic. Anytime you see a recipe and it says 2 cloves of garlic, that means 4 cloves of garlic.
What happened to that tequila that you had the other day?
It is on the bar.
This is actually going to be the second recipe that we've done out of 7 recipes that calls for tequila. He must have had a fondness for tequila.
Yeah.
So a cup of dry white wine, a 1/2 cup of tequila, a tablespoon of tomato paste, chili or cayenne pepper, and then there's a recipe for corn waffles.
Yep.
that
They're
calls-
actually in the oven. We haven't fried them yet, but
Okay.
the batter or whatever you want to call it in the oven.
So Phil already did the batter here, and that is 7 ounces of corn flour, a quart of water, flour.
That's salt. They need to be floured and deep fried.
Okay, and then it also calls for grated chocolate.
Sure.
Okay, so On the slices of ham, I gotta see if the wine is good. You don't want to cook with wine, you want to drink. Okay, on the slices of ham, spread the herbs, chopped garlic, and cut up parsley. And then place the diced pieces of turkey in the center of each slice and roll with a string. He also likes doing rolling up things, doesn't he?
He does.
I don't know. I think these are...
See, that's why I thought, you know, it's a little small, but
Let's see. We're probably going to need all of it, honestly, for the amount of turkey that we have.
can you grab me a little plate? The vegetables can go on the butcher block, but I think the chocolate will be a god-awful mess, so.
I need string. I hate these things. I'll figure out where the end is. So I end up just cutting the end. And then that makes the end. But look, now I've got this big chunk of string. Oh my God.
String 101, F.
Patience is a virtue. It's just not one of mine.
All right, so grated GR Deli chocolate. That's 2 ounces of grated chocolate. Chocolate's interesting. You know, we think about it being in part of candy and stuff, but it's really a good savory ingredient, great in chili and things like that. So it's bitter.
But you
Did you remember
notice,
to put the chocolate in there?
didn't say put chocolate in it.
Read it again.
Place the diced pieces of turkey in the center of each slice, then roll and tie with a string.
Where's the chocolate?
I don't know, but it's not there.
Oh, there it is. That's where you put it. Put the chocolate in the baby turkeys after it's cooked.
Okay.
I don't know how you do that.
I think you sprinkle it on the baby turkeys. I guess this is a baby turkey.
That looks like a baby turkey. Looks like every baby turkey I've ever seen.
Okay, I'm just gonna do this and we're gonna pretend that didn't happen. Okay. So you wanna help me stuff these?
Actually, I'm going to get started on the corn.
Okay.
Thingies.
Well, why don't you take the video over there so you can...
Oh,
do the corn.
actually, what I can do is just scooch this over here and do it right here because it's not too difficult what I got to do with the corn.
I'm just gonna move the chocolate over here. Where are these gonna go?
Huh?
Where are these gonna go eventually?
Into a Dutch oven.
We have to brown the onions and
Yeah.
first. Okay,
Here's
one
the
go.
Dutch oven. We'll go ahead and
That's our
get the oil in the Dutch oven.
low rent Dutch oven.
Hey.
Hey, I love that thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't make too much fun of that guy.
No, I'm just saying it looks like Le Creuset. It's not the same price as Le Creuset.
Faux
but
Creuset.
It works better.
Okay, I'm actually not using our lard, but that's all right.
Why not?
Because I don't have any up here.
They don't need that much string to tie this. You know, I will say that of the recipes that we've made in this book so far, this one doesn't look near as disgusting.
This is the least repulsive one. That's not necessarily meaning that it looks good.
My
but
con-
it's the least repulsive one.
My concern with this is how are we going to get the turkey cooked to a poultry temperature without...
Because
burning-
it's in there an hour and a half.
Oh. This is what happens when you don't read the recipe ahead of time. But in my defense, I just finished working.
So, just gotta roll this just a touch thinner, I think.
We have a little girl coming over today to swim in the pool, and I think it would be funny to tell her that we're making baby turkeys for dinner.
The funny thing about her is she wouldn't care. She would eat them if they were good.
She's not afraid.
Oh. She is not. Alright, so
I'm gonna say, the one thing I don't like about this recipe, if I have to say I don't like something, is I just really don't like parsley. I think the only reason to put parsley in something is to like calm down the garlic. And who wants to calm down garlic, really? I don't. I like garlic. But we'll see how it goes.
We've tried as much as possible, with the exception of the brains issue in one of the earlier ones, to stick with his recipes, but we weren't going to put brains in something on account of mad cow disease and whatnot, so we just had to sub out that one. I'm sorry, but that just wasn't going to happen.
That's the other reason why why Phil had to kind of mise en place this, is because it's already like late in the day, and if we had to start this, it wouldn't be done till like 10 o'clock at night. And the other reason for Phil doing the mise en place instead of me is knives. Knives.
So it says, using a glass, cut small waffles out of the dough and throw them into boiling oil. They will be golden and crisp. So I don't know what he means by waffles. Like, our idea of waffles are, you know, things with little ridges and stuff in them.
You're not in the camera.
So, you know, waffles, we think about waffles having ridges in them and whatnot. These aren't going to have those ridges in them, but...
Waffles have ridges. No, wait, that's ruffles. Ruffles have ridges. I think these are just like Johnny cakes, basically.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they're going to be freaking awesome, actually.
They look pretty good.
The only thing that they're really lacking is, I think it would have been nice to put a little baking powder in them, so they get a little rise to them. These are just going to be pretty flat, like Bammy or something.
But that's what Johnny cakes are.
Yeah.
I mean, Johnny cakes don't. I love those.
Yeah.
Without the rise in them.
I don't know how many of these things I should make, but it's like I'm going to go on a fishing trip tomorrow. Maybe I can take you for breakfast. Although I gotta tell you that this morning I thought I'd be really smart. I don't normally eat breakfast because I have reactive hypoglycemia, and I like to drop my blood sugar if I eat something sugary in the morning. I thought, you know, I don't think that those Amish ginger snaps look all that sugary. Why don't I have one of those for breakfast?
So what time did you pass out?
At 10 o'clock. At 10 o'clock I was cleaning down in the basement and just about went down to the ground and said, oh, you're a dumbass. So, anyway.
Oh, Philip.
So then I went upstairs and I had some fried rice with some leftover ground beef in it, of all things, and made that into, added a poached egg to it, and it was fine. It seems like a lot of these.
Okay, so I'm down to my last two, and that's perfect because I'm out of garlic.
I think I'll take the rest of this stuff and give it to the chickens.
Little pieces?
Yeah, little pieces of cornmeal. They freaking love that, I'm sure. We have some new chickens out there, some little layers. They're still kind of shy, but today they came to me when I brought food in, so I think they're starting to friendly up a bunch. All right, waffles are made. Should I take the knife and try to score them so they look like waffles? No, the answer is no.
Okay, so here are our turkey babies, all trussed up and ready to go. So the next step says to brown the onions in shortening, which we are doing, till they're golden, and then we add the wine, tequila, and tomato paste.
So this is an instant read thermometer. You need one. I watch people all the time cooking on television, barrel, and she's cooking in the deep fryer and she puts stuff in, it just kind of sits there, and I'm like, water, you know it's not hot enough. 350 degrees, 325, 375, you know, gotta be over 300. And I see her put it in there, it's 275, and that's how stuff gets all greasy. You want to be hot enough that it's driving the moisture off of your food, and at the same time, the oil isn't sinking in. So when you take it out, it's not completely soaked up in oil. So our instant read thermometer, 316. So we're getting there. Just another minute or two and we'll be in business. I'm not one of those people who likes to do videos of myself preening in front of the camera. I'd rather you be eyeballing the food. Some fucking jamoke sitting there with his little thing in his ear, talking to his people listening to him. It's like, dude, it's not about you. It's about what you're doing. It's about your hobby or whatever, you know? That, and of course, I'm all glossy from being out in the sun and sweating all day. And I didn't take a shower yet because I'm getting ready to jump in the pool.
All right, so it calls for a tablespoon of tomato paste. So we're going to do
Ba-chonk.
a tablespoon.
Tablespoon. That's exactly 1 tablespoon.
Yep.
That's a Justin Wilson tablespoon, I guarantee.
Guarantee. All right, so this is...
And a little bit of wine.
It says to add some cayenne or chili.
Cayenne's on the right middle.
Should use that Kashmiri chili.
Jeez.
I just love that Kashmiri chili.
There we go, 325. That's not enough.
So, Kashmiri chili, that's from the Indian spice box. A little bit goes a long way, but the flavor is so, so, so good.
All right, see if these things hold together. I think they will. See that? Can you hear that? That's happy oil. Now we turn the heat up a little bit after we throw those in because it drops the temperature real quick.
So, the recipe reads, in a Dutch oven, brown the onions in the shortening until they're golden, then add the white wine, tequila, and tomato paste. Ideally, you should enhance the flavor with a dash of chili or at least cayenne pepper. Go easy on the salt because of the ham. Cook on a low flame for 1.5 hours. Number 1, no salt in the recipe. Number 2, it does not say in the recipe to put your turkey into the Dutch oven at all. So if you hadn't read through this, you might have just let this onion cook on the stove for 1.5 hours and not actually cooked your turkey in it. So, because then it goes on to say, in the meantime, pour the corn flour into salted boiling water. Stir with a wooden spoon for 20 minutes, which Phil's already done. And then boil your oils. Then 15 minutes before serving, put the grated chocolate on the baby turkeys. And then you serve the corn waffles separately. And don't forget to remove the string from the baby turkeys. So nowhere in this recipe does it say put the baby turkeys in the Dutch oven. I'm only assuming that's what we're going to do, because how else are we going to cook them? So,
Aren't they supposed to brown in there?
it says nothing about what to do with the baby turkeys. Nothing. There is no mention of the baby turkeys except to remove the string before you serve them. So we're just going to assume they're going to poach and probably come in 45 minutes and flip them over. You think? There's still a lot of turkey leg left over, but actually, to be honest with you, turkey is super good in that golden curry stuff.
Yeah.
That like Japanese golden curry that comes in like these little blocks, and you just mix it in water, and it makes this really great creamy curry gravy. And turkey is fantastic for that. So we'll probably just make a turkey curry tomorrow.
Okay, so we are out of the pool and we had a great afternoon, but now we're going to do a reveal. So this is the, these are the corn waffles or whatever. And here is the turkey, baby turkeys.
Baby turkeys.
These are the baby turkeys.
Definitely by far the most appetizing thing that we've made of his.
100%. 100%. This actually looks like it could be tasty.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna have to get some. We're gonna have to like cut the things off. So, okay, we're gonna plate it up, and we'll see you in a minute.
Are we on? Okay, we're Can you see?
We were in the pool. So, okay, so we have to, we're supposed to do this like 10 minutes before we served it, but we're not doing that. So we're putting the chocolate on that. And Phil is cutting the strings off of it.
Okay.
So now we
All right.
need,
So this smells pretty good, actually.
it
The wine and
smells
everything.
amazing,
Yeah.
actually. Here, let me get another.
Well, I'm gonna wear chocolate on mine.
Okay, so we've got the little corn cakes. We've got our little turkey.
Should we fly follow this in?
Yeah. The turkey thing. And we've got chocolate. So I think the reason to hold on to the chocolate, is that it makes like a sauce.
All right. Should we look at the recipe and make sure it's something else?
So it says, yeah, you're supposed to put the chocolate on 15 minutes before you remove the baby turkeys. And then don't forget to do the strings. So I think we've got it all. I apologize for being wet in the bathing suit, but this is how we live our lives. This is how we do it.
This is how we do it, baby. Okay.
Okay,
Sorry.
yeah. If you had any question about whether we're Gen X or not, that just answered that question.
It's freaking good.
It's so good.
It's really good.
Oh my goodness. The
Why?
there's a weird fly in here. So I will say it's a little salt deprived. Like I think it could use a little bit of salt. But the texture of these corn cakes is
Like
like,
an arepa.
yeah, like crispy and fluffy. And you've got the turkey is completely well cooked, like
So
cooked perfectly.
the chocolate gives it this mole thing.
Mm-hmm. I'm putting more chocolate on mine.
Yeah. Yeah, it totally gives it a mole thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is good. This isn't just like, okay, this is really good.
Yeah, this is like, I would make this for friends
Mhm.
if they were coming over.
You know, if we use the other country ham,
I'm getting another.
the other country ham is much more salty.
Yeah, I think, and I don't dislike the lack of salt because I am very salt sensitive. But if you're somebody who likes salt, then you probably need to have a saltier country
I
ham.
could use more salt in the corn cakes,
Yeah.
but because of her, I dialed it back a little bit.
Yeah,
more out of it.
I'm super sensitive to salt. I really hate really salty things. Oddly enough, yeah.
Even the onions are delicious.
10 out of 10 would recommend. I keep putting more chocolate on this because the chocolate is really good. So yeah, 10 out of 10 would recommend.
First one out of the
Yeah.
Dali recipes where we would do. Cheers.
Cheers! Yay! For once, we're not gagging on the recipe. Yeah!
Once again, we want to thank you for watching The Idiot Farmers. If you like what you saw, please like, subscribe, and share our video with others. Have a great day.